Chapter 10, Heart's Desire. Later that night, you pace eagerly back and forth in the sitting room, counting down the minutes until you can see Theo again. It's almost time for the party in the lower decks, and my chance to tell Theo I've fallen for him. If I can work up the courage, that is. You peek over at Adele, who glances at you in annoyance from her seat on the sofa. Do stop pacing, Violet. You'll wear a hole in the carpet. You're right. I'll spare the carpet and, step outside for a bit. For whatever reason. I'm just feeling a little restless. It's such a lovely evening outside. Perhaps I'll take a turn on the deck. Alone? Of course not. I'll, take Loretta with me, of course. Very well, if you must. You slip out the door before Adele can change her mind, heading for the lower decks. I wouldn't call that my best exit, but I've bought myself enough time to find Theo. Making your way through the third-class decks, you follow Theo's instructions towards the party's location, hearing music as you draw near. Then, to your relief, you find him waiting in a nearby hallway. Ah, you made it. I wasn't sure if you'd be able to escape. I would happily break out of prison if it meant seeing you. Not that eluding Adele is quite that difficult. He laughs. You can feel yourself flush as his gaze skims appreciatively over your outfit. You look beautiful, although maybe a little overdressed. If you really want to cut loose with people do down there, you might want to lose a few layers. Glance down at your elegantly cut dress. Perhaps he is right. Modesty discouraged wasn't on the invitation. My mistake. But if you'd like, I found a dress for you that would be perfect. Grinning mischievously, he pulls on an outfit from behind his back. It's incredibly fetching, far more low-cut than anything you've ever worn before, not to mention the sheer sleeves. If Theo got this from me, he must truly want to see me wear it. Looks partially like the outfit from the Titanic. Remembering the hopes that brought you here tonight, you take the dress and duck into a nearby room to change. You feel daring as you smooth the dress over your hips, and even more daring as you step back out for Theo to see. How does it look? His gaze trails over the sheer fabric draping your arms along the low-cut neckline, and you see him swallow. You, look incredible. Reaching out, he runs an admiring hand over your curves, and you can feel yourself stir beneath his touch. But as much as I'd like to stay and enjoy the view, we're going to be late for the party. I could tell him right now, right here. But your stomach does a nervous flip as your mind drifts to your favorite of the romance novels you've read. No, I need this to be a perfect love confession. I'll wait until the mood is just right. Him swallowing the sight of you and looking at you and thinking you're amazing. I guess that's not perfect. You smile at Theo, let him lead you through the hallway and into the lower decks mess hall. No offense to your gatherings in first class, but this is what I call a party. Lively music echoes through the large room, mixing with the chatter of passengers filling the room to the brim. Everywhere you look, you see people laughing, dancing, drinking. None taken. I think most people in first class would throw a fit if they saw the free spirits in this place. Theo smiles, and nervous butterflies suddenly flutter in your stomach. I'll have to find the perfect moment to tell him how I feel during the party, when the timing feels right. I just hope he feels the same way. Still grinning, Theo takes your hand, tugging you through the crowd. Come on, I'll introduce you to the happy couple. Couple? You come to a stop in front of a young man and a woman, their faces flush from dancing and happiness. Violet, this is Elsie and Hans. They're the reason for the celebration. That we are, in a whirlwind kind of way. Hans and I were just engaged this morning. Congratulations. Thank you. I'm still shocked that she said yes. We only just met at the start of the voyage. You steal a glance towards Theo, love surging through your veins at the sight of him. Really? That's an inspiring love story. The proposal must have been nerve-wracking. Easy as asking for seconds. Nerve-wracking. She looks amused as Hans ducks his head in embarrassment. To be honest, I'd worked up a little liquid courage beforehand, but as it turns out, I didn't need it. As soon as I opened my mouth to ask, all of my nerves just fell away. I hope telling Theo how I feel will go just as easily. I didn't expect this many people would show up for us. We hardly know anyone here. But our engagement makes a good excuse for everyone to celebrate. Please enjoy yourselves. Come on, Violet, let's do as the happy couple says. Waving goodbye to Hans and Elsie, Theo wraps an arm around your waist. It would be a risk on your own deck, but here, the ease of it sets your heart racing as he leads you further into the merriment. Theo, meeting Hans and Elsie reminded me that there's something I'd like to... But before you can muster the courage to finish your sentence, you're interrupted by a few familiar faces. Violet, I knew our little doll or princess wouldn't be able to stay away. Samuel, Mac, it's good to see you again. Here, you'll both look for thirsty. Grinning, Mac passes you and Theo each a large, frothy tankard. It's huge. That's what she said. Is this drink called a Titanic? I've never seen a beer in a cup this big. He raises his eyebrows, lifting his tankard in a good-natured challenge. Down here, that's a small. Is it too much for you, or can you handle a little friendly competition? Like who can take the quickest bath in their tankard? I wouldn't put it past someone to try, but I'm talking about being the first one to drink their beer. I think you should go easy on me. It is my first Lower Decks party, you know. As long as it's not your last. Laughing, you raise the tankard to your lips, waiting for Max's signal. 3, 2, 1, go. You tip the tankard back, wincing as the cold, foamy beer tickles your tongue and makes your eyes water with each gulp. Oh no, I may be in over my head. Come on, Violet, don't quit now. You can't let Theo beat you. Glancing over, you see Theo downing his drink with ease, streams of frothy ale sliding down his chin. You're seized by a sudden urge to lick it from his skin, but you've still got a tankard in front of you. Win at any cost, let Theo shine. I've tried my best. There's no shame in losing. Theo's still going strong, but after a few more gulps, you give up, lowering your mostly empty tankard. Oh, she's down for the count. I may be down, but at least I didn't embarrass myself. Not too shabby for a first-class girl, at least. Theo grins at you over the rim of his empty tankard, wiping the back of his mouth with his sleeve. Violet's not the kind of girl who backs down from a challenge. I'm starting to get that feeling. You gaze around the party in fascination. Everywhere you look, it seems as though there's a daring new challenge. Men arm wrestling with one arm, draining beer glasses with the other, people gambling with dice around a table, and... if you keep this up, I won't have anything left to take off except my pride. A group playing cards while nearly naked. Catching your look of surprise, Theo follows your gaze towards the group of half-naked men playing cards around their own table. I take it you've never seen a game of strip poker before. I've read about stripping and poker, but I've never thought to combine the two concepts. A lot of people here are immigrating to America with nothing but the clothes on their backs, so sometimes that's what they gamble with. How intriguing. Removing your clothes in public would be a definition of a scandal, and yet you can't deny how the thought makes your pulse quicken. As does the thought of Theo removing his clothing. He gives you a wicked smile, his gaze inviting, almost daring. We could ask to join their game if you want to give it a try. Count us in, too. Thank God, now the party's getting interesting. Leaning you confidently towards the poker table, Theo nods to the players. That's because you just want to see a woman bear it all. Got room for a few more in this game? The group of men cheerfully agree, making room for you at the table. Sure thing. You catch one of the players casting an appreciative glance at your dress Theo picked out for you. This one looks like a lady who can handle herself at a card table. Flushing with happiness, you sit down at the table next to Theo. I guess we'll see, won't we? Rules are simple, standard poker hands, but if your hand gets called and you lose to a stronger hand, you pay by taking off a piece of your clothing instead of paying in coin. Got it? How risque, but it sounds simple enough. You suddenly realize just how close you and Theo are seated when he leans over to whisper softly in your ear. Good luck, or should I say, hope for bad luck. You shiver in pleasure as Theo's warm breath ghosts against your bare skin. A wave of heat washes over you, leaving you breathless. I'm just hoping you're dealt a worse hand than I am. Theo's closeness is distracting, intoxicating, but you pick up your cards, quickly scanning their contents. Oh no, this hand is terrible. I don't know if folding would, Yeah, I don't know. We'll try a bluff. As long as no one calls my bluff, I should be alright. Reach for one of your chips, pushing it to the center of the table. I'll, raise the bid. Oh, this isn't my hand. Fold. Over the top of the cards, Theo gives you an intimately knowing look. You flush, glancing quickly away. I'll call. He pushes a chip into the center of the table, only to reveal an equally terrible hand of cards. Looks like we've both lost, Violet. Well, in that case, I'll unlace my bodice, ask Theo to forfeit for me. No, that's, well, I don't know how to draw, whatever. I suppose this is the part where I forfeit. Your eyes lock with Theo's. You reach for the laces of your bodice. Inch by inch, you loosen them, deliberately drawing out the moment for as long as you can. By the time you finish, you're breathing quickly, your breasts rising and falling rapidly beneath the barely there covering of your dress. I believe it's your turn, Theo. It takes him a moment to reply as he takes in the sight of you in the warm, smoky air of the mess hall. Plus, he did call you, so... Right, fair's fair. Theo quickly strips off his shirt, revealing the smooth expanse of his broad, well-muscled chest. Well, let's see if we have better luck next time. As the next hand is dealt, it's hard to keep your attention from wandering to his bare chest. With considerable effort, you force yourself to focus on your cards. To your surprise, you see 3 aces. I can't lose this hand. Next to you, Theo bids, hiding a small smirk behind his cards. But he's got to be bluffing. I'll call that bid from Mr. Carter. Well, let's see him, ladies and gents. Theo gives you a slow smile as he flips his cards over, revealing another losing hand. Mac chuckles. You're usually better competition, Carter. Getting distracted by the pretty new face of the table, are you? Did Theo lose on purpose? Maybe. The air between you seems to crackle with electricity as Theo shrugs and shoves his cards to the side. I'd say I lost that one fair and square. But what should I take off next? How about... why not? Trousers. Though Theo raises his eyebrows in good-natured enjoyment, you see the heat smoldering in his gaze. If you say so. To your surprise, he stands up, reaching for the belt of his trousers. A wave of heat washes through you as his work-roughened fingers close around the clasp. You're sure that your desire is written all over your face, but you can't look away as Theo pulls his trousers down, leaving him in nothing but his underwear. This might be the greatest game ever invented. As the game progresses, you find yourself acutely watching Theo's every glance, every gesture, every move. You shift beneath the table, all too aware of the dampness pooling between your thighs, but that only presses your leg against Theo's. Having a good time so far? Oh yes, I'd say so. Last hand, folks. Make your peace with Lady Luck. It's a good thing the game is almost over. I'm not sure how much more of this tension I can stand. Last chance, Violet. What's it going to be? He glanced down at your hand. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. Depending on what everyone else is holding, you might be able to win. Hold my chips, hope everyone else is bluffing. Go all in. Seizing the moment, you push the rest of your chips into the center of the pot. Thank goodness Adele can't see me now. She'd probably faint from shock. Give it 12 seconds. As everyone flips their cards over, revealing their hands, your gamble pays off. Well, I'll be, she won. I guess fortune really does favor the bold. The other players good-naturedly insist on you taking some winnings before you leave. I thought we were just playing for the fun of, well... You gesture at the articles of clothing on the floor, but another player pushes a few small coins and a handkerchief towards you. Oh, sure, but the game wouldn't be nearly as fun without you. Just promise you'll think of us when you use this hanky. I'm serious. Oh my god. What? With the game over, you get up from the table and share a playful smile with Thea. That was fun. Should we see what the rest of the party has to offer? Yes, but not just yet. Thea takes you by the hand and leads you to a dimly lit corner of a hall just outside the party. I'm hoping you put your clothes back on sometime soon. We should get dressed first. Oh, yes, of course. I could use some help lacing my bodice back up. Of course. He works his way up each set of laces, pulling and then tying each one. As each lace tightens around your body, you feel an ache at the point of your wrist, but by the time Theo's done, his breathing is ragged. Better? Almost. Now it's my turn. Returning the favor, you help Theo into his shirt, letting your hands linger just slightly too long on his bare skin. Well, Violet, what did you think of the game? I enjoyed it, although maybe we could play again someday, just the two of us. Theo traces one finger slowly across your collarbone, making you shiver beneath his touch. I think we could make that happen. Pulling you close, he sweeps you into a ravishing kiss that sets your head swimming with pleasure. By the time he pulls away, you're breathless with desire. I'd rather stay here with you, but... I know. We should probably get back to the party. On one side of the room, you discover the musicians have struck a new, altogether wilder melody. You feel something stirring deep inside of you as the other passengers dance to the music with abandon, their bodies locked closely together. Is that a tango? You've never done one? Oh no, not the sorts of parties I grew up attending. It's supposed to be awfully intimate dance. There's nothing wrong with a little intimacy every now and then. Theo takes your hand, pulling you onto the makeshift dance floor. Just trust me, Violet, tonight in this place we can do anything our hearts want. You relax in his arms as he pulls your hips flush with his, leading you into the steps. Why not? As the hypnotic music swirls all around you, you give in to the wild rhythm of the dance and press your hips forward. You can never do this anywhere else. May never be able to do this ever again, so you make the most of it. You're rewarded with a soft groan and the price of Theo's arousal between your thighs. Are you sure you haven't done this dance before? You smile coyly at him, arching your eyebrows. I'm just trying to follow your lead. As the rhythm of the song builds and builds, so does the heat of his body pressed against yours. Dancing with you makes me feel as though we're the only two people in the world. The smile is full of warmth and a hint of something else. Something that makes your pulse thrum. When he speaks, his voice is husky. What would you do if we were? You drop your voice to a sultry tease. I'd kiss you right here in the middle of the dance floor. I'd find out just how you taste after those drinks we shared earlier. You let your gaze drop to his lips, remembering the feeling of them pressed against yours, and his grip on your waist tightens. Funny you should say that, because I've been wanting to kiss you since this dance started. As the song comes to an end, you and Theo remain pressed together, your blood thundering through your veins. And it looks as though we're not the only ones affected by the dance. All around the room, you see couples locked in similar embraces, kissing in darkened corners, or sneaking out of the hall with their lovers. Today is the happiest day of my life. You mean the happiest day of your life so far? They're lucky that they don't have to hide their feelings for the people they love. As Theo smiles at you with that familiar, slightly wry curve of his lips, you feel the rush of affection you always feel when he's near. It's time I stopped hiding mine, too. At least from him. Everything all right, Violet? You look a little flushed. As he gazes at you, his eyes glinting in warm, slightly muggy light of the party, you feel a bold spark ignite inside your chest. I'm fine, I was just hoping to talk to you. Alone. Come with me. You take him by the hand and lead him through the narrow hallways to his quarters, closing the door behind you. I like the change of scenery. Down, boy, you're not getting lucky. Just yet. As he smiles at you, the small room feels somehow smaller than ever. Warmer, more intimate. So, what did you want to talk about that was so private? About us. The more time we've spent together, the more I've felt things I never imagined before. Like being caught in some giddy whirlwind, carried away by something greater and yet more alive than I ever thought possible. And through the hazy squall of emotions, I realize something, Theo. You draw a deep breath, trying to calm your racing heartbeat, and say the words you've been longing to say all this time. I love you. I love you because you see me for who I am. Feel like I can do anything when I'm with you. My body burns for you brighter than the sun. Okay, I like all three of these, but he does see you for who you are. He has been very honest with you. He has been, able to see your predicament, understanding the whole 9 yards. Yeah. Also again, all three of these are really good. But I'm gonna go with number 1 is important to me. Someone who sees me for who I am. To you, I've never been a walking inheritance waiting to be claimed or an outspoken inconvenience. You look at me, I know that you see me as a whole person with feelings and fears and wants of my own. Violet. You press on before he can stop you, desperate to get all the words out of you now that you've started. I know this makes things more complicated. I'm still bound to my family's expectations, and we'll have to part ways in New York. But despite that, despite having to hide how I feel in public, I don't want to hide how I feel with you. Even if you don't feel the same way, you deserve to know the truth. Violet. He takes your hand. Fear surges through you. Fear that despite everything you two have shared, you've said too much. I don't care if it makes things more complicated. I love you too. You do? I have a question. You know what, I'll wait till the end. Just stay to the end. Theo answers by pulling you into a kiss that is more perfect than any kiss you've shared before. Your heart sings as his words echo in your ears. Your senses swirl with a mixture of happiness, wonder, and want. I think I fell for you the first day we met, and since then I've only fallen harder. So have I. You kiss him again, and with the shared confession, it's as if some dam is broken between you. You cling to him with want thrumming through your veins, feeling worlds apart from the celebration down the hall or the worries about Adele. All that matters here is that Theo loves you, the way his touch makes your nerves sing as he hikes your skirts up around your legs. No one can come between us here. There's no more need to hold back. We're gonna bound Chicka Wow Wow, aren't we? As Theo kisses... I'm calling it. Sorry. As Theo's kisses set your whole body alight with burning passion, you come to a decision. Really? Really? Guess what I picked? Bet you won't know. It takes all the effort to pull away from Theo, but you want to remember every detail of this moment, breathless as you are. We'll have plenty of other opportunities to be alone on the voyage. Right now, I just want to savor this. Not everything has to be lust. Theo nods in agreement, his breath still slightly ragged from your kisses. You're right. I'm just glad you feel the same way I do about you. Wrapping his arms around you, he pulls you close one final time. I love you, Violet Calhoun. And I love you, Theo Carter. Now and forever, or until New York. I'm sorry. Like I said, stay at the end. He grins a familiar grin, his lips softly brushing your forehead. Luckily for me, forever starts tomorrow. As you carefully slip through the ship's hallways, making your way back to your own quarters, you feel as though you're walking on air. And she forgot to change her outfit. Everything with Theo was so perfect, it feels like a dream. You step into your sitting room, closing the door quietly behind you, but as you turn inside, you see Adele sitting on the couch with... speak of the devil, or in this case, the angel. Adele blinks at your outfit in surprise, but she's practically quivering with excitement. Violet, your attire is certainly expressive. We can correct that in a moment. Right now, you'll never guess what just happened. Philippe proposed to you? Question mark? Oh, no, okay, that. Philippe has asked to formally court you. Your stomach drops as your perfect dream shatters under the weight of Adele's words. Formal courtship would mean someone officially standing between me and Theo. I can't possibly... Of course she accepts. You've made this, just made her the happiest woman in the world. Without further ado, before I gotta say what I gotta say, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you did enjoy the work that I do. Remember that down in the description of the video, above the comments, you can go there, expand it, and you will see a bunch of ways to support the channel, ways to connect with yours truly, and also ways to become more of an intricate part of this community and this family that I have spent many, 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 many years building. Without further ado, let me get to the following. So, alright. So first and foremost, I don't get this. And again, I always ask you, the viewer, the person listening to me right now, what your opinion is. And so I don't understand. So, alright, I'm on a train ride, right? Let's just look at it this way. I'm on a train ride, I meet some girl, right, and the train ride's, I don't know, let's just say a day. And so over the day, we really enjoy ourselves, and we meet, and we're like, oh, I love you, but this must end once we enter the station. I'm confused. So this is the same thing with this whole story, right? Like, let's ignore it for a minute that it's the Titanic. Let's just assume that it isn't the Titanic, that this is just another boat traveling the world, going between continents on the big old ocean, and let's just ignore the whole what'll happen, okay? So once we get into New York, we have this teary-eyed goodbye. I love you, Theo, but I can't be with you. But I love you. Goodbye. Okay. What? Explain it. Someone please explain it to me. I think it's perhaps possibly one of the stupidest things in the world. Also the fact that Pixelberry keeps confusing love with lust. Oh, I've confessed my love to you. Let's bang. So for me, and I've had this talk with several other people before, comment section or in my Discord or just personal conversations, where for me there is a very fine line that between love and lust, and some people get those two confused. Okay? First and foremost, you need to find out if you love a person, right? The physicalities, as I call them. The physicalities and the whole lust and everything else, you put it off, right? Remember the days when we used to be like, save yourself until marriage? Remember those, right? I'm probably one of a very few in the world who still does that. I know there's others, but it's far and fair and like so far and in between that it's not funny. So again, you got to fall in love with a person. You got to know that person. You got to talk about your loves, your likes, your interests, your hobbies, things like that. And you fell for a person, right? That's why everybody loves these wonderful stories of like, we met in school and we went from there and we've been together 67 years, right? Because again, when you're in school, especially when you meet someone who's young and you're young as well, because you've met in school together, right? It's nice to be like, you're building on innocence. You're building on not the need for physicalities. You're building on, growing up together and sharing experiences and sharing the world together. And then it comes physicalities. And I just don't understand. And again, I always ask for you guys' opinion. Why? Like, the story, it's written so piss poor and bad, I'm going to be honest with you, that and things like this, again, I'm an intellectual, right? I'm a person who sits here and I look at this shit and I just don't really understand it. And so that's why I'm asking you, right? Because I know a lot of you share the same sentiment with me. And Pixelberry and Choices, pretty much, of long story short, have gone downhill in the views of you guys. And it's one of the reasons why Romance Club and a lot of these other like apps that don't focus solely on the Bow Chicka Wow are succeeding, right? It's succeeding. Because if I want that stuff, I can go anywhere on the internet, really, and find it, right? It's free. It's all over the damn internet. And there's pretty much people hooking up day and night right now, one night stands and all that shit. And I've never been interested in it, and I don't care for it, right? I've never looked at a woman and been like, oh my god, 10 out of 10, I gotta hook up with her, banger, and then leave her. Like, oh, so again, I'm asking for your input. I value it. I respect it. Again, I'm probably one of a few creators on this platform that actually does, right? A lot of people just want you to leave comments and things like that because it helps their videos and their algorithm, because it's engagement. Otherwise, like, if you ever go to most of the videos, right, of other, just not even Choices creators, but a lot of other people, most of those people don't reply to people, right? And some of the biggest creators on the world, not to take a shot at other people, but I know I'm getting a little off topic. Basically, they've even said they don't read the comment section anymore. So, like, I get it. There's negativity in some of the comment sections, but for the most part, that's what you have mods for, and that's also what you have the YouTube system for, and yada yada yada, to remove that negativity. And you should want to view your comments of your community and your people. So I don't know. Again, I know long-windedness, right? But again, I'm just for issues like this, I just get a little bit passionate. And then I can also go off topic, and I do apologize if this ran a little longer than it was intended, but again, it's my only way of communicating, really, with you guys. Unless you ever want to tune into a stream, right? Again, purple thing there in the bottom left corner. Feel free to come over there and talk with me. I typically stream just chatting and things like that over there. I don't want to fill up the YouTube because the whole algorithm and everything else, and then you guys will never see Choices content ever again. So yeah, or content that you actually genuinely enjoy. So without further ado, thanks again for listening. Thanks again for being at the end of this video. And yeah, again, I look forward to your comments. Peace out.